All right, so my name's Sarah Rogers. I'm your Double Gold consultant. I'm going to be going over how to navigate through Vax in this meeting. We are in your travel cafe. When you're there, you're going to hit the search bar right here. That's how I search everything in Travel Cafe. I'm just going to hit Vax. Okay, and there's going to be like a lot of things that come up, right? Announcements, webinars. Apple Vacations is inside of Vax. So when I talked about Vax being a portal to kind of have like 11 or 12 vendors, Apple Vacations is one of the vendors within Vax, right? So this is a webinar that pulled up that they did with Archer to go ahead and give us some more information. So right here, you're going to see Vax. And it's going to tell you Vax now requires you to submit a supplier request form. So you're going to hit this. And a supplier request form is going to be right here. And it's just going to ask you for your basic info, right? So your first, last name, your agent ID number, your agent email that you signed up with when you joined the business, your phone number, the date, and then just a drop down. So we got a couple of different vendors that you can do a supplier request form. So what I would do is just when you're first new, I would just sign up for everything on there, right? Because the more vendors you have, the more emails you get, the more promotions you get, the more information you get about webinars for trainings, right? It's just like an all around, it can only benefit you. Obviously, of course, if you're not in Australia, don't register for Australia. Vax right here, and that's pretty much it. You just hit submit, you wait 2 or 3 business days, and they send you an email with a confirmation. So, okay. So you're all registered for Vax. How do you sign in? The agency number is always going to be the IATA number, right? So that's 05824840. It's going to be really important for you guys to know that because a lot of the vendors are going to ask for that. Even when you call in to book something with a cruise line or even with Vax, they're going to usually ask for that number. So it's very important that you guys get to know that number. I have it memorized. So your username, which is your agent ID, and then whatever password you created, right? Okay, so here is Vax. Okay, so when you log in right away, you're gonna see a bunch of different promotions that they're gonna have going on, right? You got Universal, you got Las Vegas, these are the agent rewards. You got these right here are all of the different suppliers within Vax. Remember I told you Vax is the portal of which we have access to a bunch of different vendors. So Vax itself isn't necessarily like a vendor as far as like, yes, we're booking through Vax, but we're using Vax to book with a vendor. So I use Vax to book through United Vacations. I use Vax to book through Apple Vacations or Blue Sky Tours or something like that, if that makes sense, right? So you can do SeaWorld tickets, you can do Universal, United Vacations, TNT Vacations, Southwest, right? So all these wonderful suppliers. And also too, what you can do here is you can actually get educational training with Vax, right? So Vax itself, you can just learn about Vax. You can do training, new agent training, right? And then you got the supplier training right here. So it's really up to you. You know, I can guide you, but at the end of the day, this is your guys' business, right? So you guys are in charge of what it is you get from it. So if you guys are like just super interested in Universal or you're like, oh, I don't want to book Southwest or whatever it is that you guys want to do, right? It's here for you to use. What I always suggest is when you're looking through any of our vendors is just get on it and just start clicking stuff and playing around with it and get familiar, right? You don't want to wait till you get a client and you're like, oh my God, I've never logged into Vax. What do I do, right? Because that's already going to bring your confidence down. So the more you play around with your vendors and the more you, just learn about it, right? By just exploring, the more confident you're going to be when, number one, you do get that call from the client, and when you are on there actually booking and searching for stuff, right? So by the way, guys, it's totally normal for you to be walked through your first like 2-3 bookings, right? Because it's all brand new to us, right? Please believe when I first came on board, I was walked through probably my first 3 bookings. like handheld. So I expect the same thing out of you guys. It's how we learn, right? That's the reason why you signed on with your sponsor, right? For them to help you. That's the reason why we do these team meetings. That's the reason why Nikki's on live 5 days a week doing the Q&A, right? The tools are here for you guys to be successful, but it's up to you guys because it's your business. You dictate it when you work on it, when you want to plug in and use those resources, right? So, okay. Anyways, that's my spiel. So we got suppliers right here, and then you got destinations. So these are going to be the places that the suppliers generally, you know, book at. So that's that. And then you got offers and incentives right over here, and then you got reservations. So let me go into offers and incentives a little bit, and then I'm going to go into the reservations so you guys can learn and get familiar with everything Vax. So I'm just going to click here. Promotions. So what I do sometimes, like let's say I got a client, they want to book Hawaii because Hawaii is like always super popular. I can actually just go Hawaii. And what it's going to do right here, it's going to pull up the supplier, the destination, so the different islands, right, on Hawaii, and then like the title of the sale, right? And it's going to have the book date right here. So you have to book by this date in order to get whatever promotion that that supplier has going on for that particular destination. So, so for example, let's see, hot Hawaiian deals, right? This is through Apple Vacations. You're going to click on that. It's going to tell you the travel dates. So the travel dates meaning that the time frame of which the client's looking to go, and then the booking date is when you as the agent have to book them by to get this deal. Okay, so it's a two-part thing. And it's just telling you, okay, cool. It's going to tell you like the hotel, what they can do. So save up to 30%. Plus a 15% off upgrade availability, partial ocean view categories. Okay, so at the Fremont, no resort fees, which is awesome. The Ashton, you can get 15% off. The other beach club, you can get 4 nights and save 40%. So you see, this is where you can start like getting ideas of like, oh, this might be an incentive for my client to book here with me, right? So, you know, this hotel right here, you receive a daily breakfast for 2, plus you're getting $100 resort credit. Like, hello, right? This is where I would look, right, to go book my client. How awesome is that? You can tell them, hey, look, if you book with me, I'm going to give you $100 of resort credit, right? So now you just added value to why they should be booking with you, right? Always about adding value when you're talking to your client. So that's just something you guys can go through. Agent incentives, you can sign up for like bonus cash on here. It'll work. Let me check my chat. No questions yet, guys? Okay, so here again, you can search by destination. So let's say, let's do, I don't know, Vegas. Okay, no searches. Okay, let's do Hawaii. Okay, so let's see, Royal Caribbean, United Vacations. Earn complimentary air seats with your United Vacations bookings. That's cool, right? So how do you do that? The more you book, the more you earn with United Vacations, right? So it's talking about you as an agent, you earn $250 towards your next flight, or every $50,000 book United Vacations, you get a, what is it, like a free air. So yeah, free air, receive a $500 air voucher. So these are all the incentives that the suppliers give us as the agents to book, right? Like, oh, I can book 15 getaways at the Rio Hotels and Resorts, and I get a $500 airline credit. That's cool, right? As an incentive now for an agent, I have a reason to book with them. So you always got to remember our vendors are always wanting us to use them. So they're going to throw incentives like that. That's why when you complete like Princess training, you get those free cruises at the end, right? Yes, it's part of your training. They want you to go on board and experience the ship. Number one, that's free marketing for you. And number two, so that you can come back and talk about them, right? Let me book you because I've been on the cruise line. I know what they're all about. I've gone through their training. I've been on their cruises. You know, how much more better are you going to be at talking to your clients about why they should book with Princess when you've experienced it, right? So these are just like the incentives that they give us as agents and the, you know, the perks. So, okay, down to the nitty gritty, right? So your customer, your client wants to book with you. What do? You're gonna go over to reservations, and I'm just gonna go back to the home page. Is this all making sense to you guys? Drink your water, please. Drink your water. By the way, if you guys did not know, I'm a single full-time mom. I have my daughter 100% of the time, and I'm still doing this gig. So United is doing the $200 down payment policy. I just said that on their list there. So every supplier is going to do different down payments depending on what the travel is. There's always stipulations with that, and I'm going to show you guys how to find out, like if a client wants to book something out a year in advance because they want to do payment plans. I'm going to show you how you would go about doing those for them, right? So reservations. There we go. Okay. So remember I told you Vax is a portal of which we have all these different suppliers, right? So right here is a drop down when you go to search for your clients of all the different vendors that you can choose from. Now, obviously, you know, if they're looking for a Mexican vacation getaway, you're not going to go to United or Universal Parks, right? You're not going to go to Sesame Place. You're not going to go to SeaWorld vacation. So there's kind of, you know, a way that you can cross things off your list, right? I generally myself, I always cross-reference probably about, I would say at least 3 different vendors, because remember, it is your job as a travel agent to get them the best rates, right? Sometimes you'll see that the vendors are the exact same pricing, but one vendor has a lower deposit, right? So that might be more attractive. Like maybe the client just wants to get it booked. Like they only have $200, you know, whatever the promotion is. And so you go with United Vacations because they're running a promotion, right? So those are the kind of things that you got to look for as a travel agent. And those are the kind of things you got to ask your clients when you're booking them, so that you know how to shop for them, right? Every person's going to be completely different. So Blue Sky Tours, you guys take a note. That's a vendor that specializes in Hawaii bookings. They actually just added Southwest flights there too, so that's kind of awesome. But yeah, Southwest Vacations on the, you know, that's going to be Southwest Airlines. United Vacations, you're talking about United Airlines. So, and you got to think about that too. Like United is typically like a really good airline, and so they are higher priced than, you know, a lower airline, right? So you got to keep that in mind when you're talking to clients, and you got to be able to be have like that educational conversation with them, so that they know, like, oh, that's why that's a little bit more, because this is the value you get when you book with United, right? They provide snacks on every airline, you know, they got big comfy seats, like they don't charge you for certain luggage, right? So all those things, like, you're only going to know that if you go out and do the research, right? The only way I know all this stuff, right, is because I went out, I got myself trained, I went to webinars, I plugged in, right? Because the more you learn, the more you earn, right? So anyways, so typically, like when I'm doing a vacation package, when I'm looking through that specifically, the couple of vendors that I typically always search is going to be Apple Vacations, TNT Vacations, and then depending on the destination, like if it's Hawaii, I'm definitely always going to check out Blue Sky Tours, right? You know, or maybe United Vacations or Southwest, you know, or if a client's like, look, I only fly Southwest. Well, then, you know, you're going to check Southwest Vacations, right? So again, that's where the conversations with your clients come in. FunJet Vacations is a really good supplier. So, you know, let's go through, let's use Apple. And I'm just going to do a mock booking. And I suggest that you guys do this too, right? Just do fake bookings. Why not? Because that's the only way you're going to learn. So I'm going to do flight and hotel. And I'm going to do from San Diego because I'm in Riverside County, but it's right next to San Diego. And I'm going to do big Honolulu. Okay. 2 adults. Let's do 2 kids. And it's very important, you guys, when you have anybody under the age of 18, that you know what their age is at the time of travel, okay? So let's just do 10 and 6, okay? Let's do their departure date for sometime in the summer because that's when people like to go. So June 18th to the 23rd, 5 nights. Awesome. Search. You okay? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. And Vax sometimes takes its time. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, it's taking a long time. Here we go. Okay. So you get here. This is the first time you use Vax and you're like, oh my God, what did I just do, right? Okay. Let's break this down so it's really easy for you guys, okay? This price isn't like, oh my God, they wanted $2,000. Like this is not like, what Vax does is they just kind of pull up a basic itinerary for you, right? Like they just click like defaults and they present something to you. This by no means is what you have to give the client, right? Everything in this package is interchangeable, from the flights, from the hotel, if you want to book a car or add-on activities, right? So what do I mean by that? Okay, you see right here, the outbound flight, they picked a 3:25 to 6:30 nonstop flight. Well, let's say your client's like, I want to leave, I want to leave in the morning. So you're like, okay, that's not going to work for them, right away. So these hyperlinks right here, anytime you see a blue hyperlink like that, that means it's something that you can change. So I'm going to go to the outbound flight. And now you see here on this side right here, you got all these, what's the word I'm looking for? Ways to like narrow down what your client's looking for. Filters, sorry. So let's say, okay, you got a client, well, morning time, you want them to depart in the morning, and you want a nonstop. So you just took your selection down from 25 flights to like 2 flights, right? So that's super helpful. Now, again, don't be intimidated that this price, oh my God, it's $4,300. This is, again, they selected the flight back, they selected the hotel. We're not done yet, right? The quote's still in the making. Everything's going to change. So don't let that like scare you at first, right? So, okay. 9:50 to 1, okay, but they wanted to leave here at 8:20 to 11:40, okay. So here you see it's about $100 difference. That is, you can pretty much count that no matter how you price it out, the flight times are about not even $100 difference. So it's just going to be whatever the client wants at that point, right? So let's say the client wants to 9:50, so you select that one. Are you all done? Hold on 1 second. Let me grab her a little bit more. Yeah, I know. Okay. So you pick the outbound flight. What I typically like to do is do the return flight as well. And again, you can change that. Okay. So again, let's say they want to come back in the evening time, right? Because it's always like you want to lay in your last night there, late checkout. Say that's what they want to do. Arrival time, evening. Oh, departure time. Well, I guess departure time is morning, so never mind. Afternoon. Okay, so let's say they want the 3:20, right? Let's just do that. That's a nonstop. So now what you're going to do is you're going to select the hotel. So right here at the hyperlink, you're going to hit hotel. And this is where you're going to like get down to the nitty gritty. You're going to, based off what your client said, right? And you guys, if you guys don't know, I have that Google questionnaire that I always like to have on hand when I'm talking on the phone with my client and getting that consult in, because it's really going to set you up to be able to ask them all the correct questions to build this quote out for them, right? So, you know, let's say they're like, I can't stay at anything less than a 4-star hotel. Right away, I'm going to use my filters, right? 4 and 5 stars, right? Boom, I just knocked off like, how many is that? Like 30 hotels, right? How much easier is that now that you don't have to weed through all that, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it price from low to high. Okay, cool. So you see how like it's priced, right? The package that we priced was at 43, but because now I'm going through all these filters and I'm customizing the quote, automatically the lowest hotel is 4,000. So notice how I said lowest and not cheapest. I'm really big on not ever using the word cheap with clients at all. Cheap equals cheap travel, equals cheap commissions, cheap experience, none of that. I will always get my client the lowest price for the experience that they're looking for, right? Because, you know, people, they always say to us, I just want the cheapest deal. Whatever the cheapest deal is, I want it. Well, most likely the cheapest deal anywhere is going to be at a hostel. I guarantee you your family of 4 with 2 little babies doesn't want to stay at a hostel, right? So that's where you got to have that conversation with them. What experience are you looking to have? What kind of features do you like, you know, when you book a hotel? Is there a certain brand of hotel that you like? You know, and you get to know them more on that level. And then you could really, you know, you tell them, okay, great, now that I have this information, I can get, you know, search the lowest price for you based on the experience that you want. Not a problem. You see how you turn that around? So now they understand that you're going to customize this quote for them, but also be searching for the best deal for them as well, based off what they want and the experience that they want. So anyways, you'll see here too. So it's going to give you the hotel. It's going to give you the ratings. And then, you know, TripAdvisor, of course, there's going to be all those ratings that people put in. It's going to give you how many miles it is from the airport that they're flying into. It's also going to give you the room type and any promotions that are going on with that room type now, okay? Now, let's say you're like, well, it's a family of 4. They don't want a king room, right? But they like this hotel. By the way, if you click here, you can actually see the pictures of the hotel. So this is where I sell the client, right? I'm like getting on the phone with them and I'm like, oh my God, they have beautiful double queen beds. The linen's so nice. The rooms are really clean and open and airy. The windows are huge. You know, they got a really nice TV. This is where you sell stuff, right? Oh my God, the bedding's so cute. It's like this teal bedding. It's really modern, contemporary room. Again, you see how I'm selling the room to them over the phone. I'm not doing this through Messenger, by the way. So are you done? You want out? Okay, hold on one second. Sit down. You want your water? Okay, sorry. So anyways, you can scroll down here. You see the different promotions that the rooms have. So save up to 10%, the 4th night free. I know Amy has used that to get a client, right? Rise and Shine. So you're like, what the heck is a Rise and Shine promotion mean? Just click down and it's going to tell you, right? Okay, so now are you stuck? You got it? Okay. Now you're looking at the accommodations, right? Different room types. So let's say they want a queen, right? They don't want the king because they got the couple and the baby. Obviously, you got to be mindful of that. So you're going to hit select. Sorry, my computer's slow today. Okay, so here we go. We got the quote right here. Now you can add on rental cars and features. Features are where you're going to add on these activities, right? So let's say they're like, I want to, you know, you can do the travel protection, you can do the transportation to and from the hotel, and then you can add on all these activities, right? So you scroll down here. Adventure sail, jet skiing, parasailing, all this stuff, right? And you're like, okay, what does that entail? You're just going to click. Again, everything like you can click on and learn more with Vax. All right, so you guys get the gist of that. For the sake of trying to get through this, I'm not going to like go into super hard detail. So let's just say they just wanted the flights and the hotel. That's it. So you're going to go to checkout, because I'm going to show you this right here. Please, please, please. This is not the monthly payment. Okay, guys, do not ever tell them that that is the monthly payment. That, if you click that and go through that, that's going to cause them to do a soft credit check, and it's going to tack on interest and stuff like that. You don't need to do that with Vax. There's a different way to do payment plans that does not add any of that to the client. So hit checkout here. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. Well, let me see if it pulls it up on the screen. In Vax 2, you can control, by the way, your commission. So this trip is $4,100. Booking, if you click booking administrations here, I can't right now. I can't right now. I have to do this, okay? Hold on, baby. You want me to hold you? Hold on 1 second. I can't right now, Rhea. You want my phone? Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so you see here, the commission is 165. So let's say they're like, look, as long as you keep it under 4,500, we're good. So you came in, you know, under what, 300? So why not add yourself like an extra $100, right? I would. I do it all the time. So now you're at 4,200, but you just gave yourself an extra $100. Now you're making $255 of commission. See how that works out? I love Vax for this reason. Like, I can decrease my commission. Like, let's say you were over by $50 and your commission's $150, right? Well, if you take away $50, you're still making $100 and you're making the sale. Why would you not do that, right? $100 is more than $0, right? So just keep that in mind. So with Vax, okay, so this is the checkout, right? If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and please always read these advisories and make sure any extra charges you tell your client. Like, this is a cancellation deadline. Let them know that you have to cancel by January 14th. Sorry, we're gonna wrap this up really soon. So, you know, let them know all of that. So travel protection, do they want it? They can add it. Here's where you can read all about it. Okay, rental cars. So where is the payment option, right? It's right here, this box right here. So this one is actually not giving us payment options. That's really unusual. Usually right here, it'll have like a deposit and then the full payment. So this is going to be full due on January 13th. Usually it does not do this. So I don't know why it's doing that. It's booked far out enough to where it shouldn't be doing that. But nonetheless, right? So, okay, perfect example. Apple Vacations isn't going to do it. That doesn't mean that you can't get it with somebody else. So what I'm going to do, my client wants a payment option, so I'm going to search a different supplier. That didn't work out. No big deal. Oahu, Honolulu. And then after this, guys, I'm going to head out because my daughter probably won't make it too much longer. Okay, so I'm going to go back to June 18th through, what is it, like the 23rd I did, 5-night search. And I'm just gonna do a really quick one just so you guys can see it and you guys get the gist of it. You guys have any questions right now about what I'm doing, how I'm navigating? Who's here? This has helped so much. Awesome. I'm glad. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a random hotel just for the sake of getting the quote out, right? Oops. And by the way, guys, another booking tip, I never tell the client, like I try not to tell the client like what vendor I'm using and all that. You are the vendor, you're the travel agent. That's why I explain things over the phone the way I do. I'm very like visual when I explain things over the phone with them because I'm selling them, right, to book with me. They get an itinerary and all that once the booking's done, but I really, sometimes it's like better to tell them less because the more you tell them, the more they want to know, and you just get into this big old hole. And then the next thing you know, you gave them all the information for them to go book it on their own. Don't do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick this. Pick this, and I'm out the door. So I got the outbound flights. I got the hotel. So 3,600. Just checking to see. $197. So you see how the package is different? It's actually lower, but you're making more commission than originally. So could you imagine if you went, you got something lower price point and like they were looking at stuff that was like $4,200 and you came in at $3,600? Like, shoot, give yourself $200, right? Now you're making almost $400 in a trip and you're saving them a ton of money, right? Let's just say. Okay, so anyways, check out. Oops, I think I checked the create sales email. Okay, so again, we're gonna scroll down through the bottom and it's not giving me, that's so weird. It never does this. Okay, so let me explain to you usually why Vax is awesome is because it'll have like a little, in between the balance due and the full payment, a deposit, right? And usually that deposit is what is required in order to do the booking. No, the customers do not see your commission. So like I don't even like, so this is how I do it with my clients. I set up an initial phone conversation. It lasts 15 to 20 minutes. I go through that questionnaire. I make a personal connection with them, you know, shits and giggles with them just for the sake of, you know, being friendly. Like you need to build a rapport with them, right? They need to trust you with you're booking a $4,300 package. That's a lot of money, right? They need to trust you with that, with your judgment, right? So, and then what I do after the phone consultation, I say, okay, great, let me get this going for you. I'm going to follow up with you in, you know, let's say your day's busy, you can't do that. Let's say you only have tomorrow, you have another window of tomorrow that you can get with them and say, I can get with you back tomorrow. You know, I have a 5 o'clock or a 3 o'clock open. What time works for you? Do you see how now you're creating like a schedule for them and you're creating this aura of like, hey, you're busy, you're with clients all day, you got to set appointments. Do you see how much more attractive that is than like, yeah, I'm going to get on this right away. I'll get back to you right away. I'll call you in a couple hours. You know what I mean? Like you got to give yourself time to like set it yourself up right? So just think about that when you're talking to clients. You never want to tell them, oh, I'm going to get back to you right away, because what's right away, right? That's so subjective. Like give yourself a timeline, give yourself time to come up with a quote. Now, at the same time, don't tell them it's going to take me 5 days to get this quote out, right? Because by that time, if they're serious about booking, they can just go book it themselves. So be mindful of that. You want to be prompt, but give yourself time. So anyways, so let's say like normal times, oh, you know, I bet you, I wonder if it's the promo code. Probably not. But anyways, sometimes for the most part. There is a deposit line right there. See if it changed it. No, it didn't. So the deposit is what's due in order to book and secure the trip, okay? So let's say it was $1,000 deposit. Okay, Tiffany, in order to go ahead and book this, they like everything. It's going to be $1,000 deposit right now, and then, you know, the remainder is due on whatever date it gives, right? Do you want to pay the deposit or do you want to pay it in full? They're going to tell you, and then you're going to just go based off that option. Now, let's say they want the deposit. They're going to say, well, do I have monthly payments? How does that work? You can pay how you want. It has to be booked in full by this date. And what I do with my clients, I usually tell them like a date 5 days prior, because in case stuff happens, you have, again, that leeway with your client, right? You know, so I'd say like you have to pay in full by January 10th. As long as the trip is paid for in full by that date, you can pay your payments however you want. Now, me as a travel agent, because I need this thing booked, right? Because if it's not booked, you don't get your commission, they don't go on the trip, right? So I'm gonna send a reminder to them every month. Hey, Tiffany, I'm just checking in. How's everything going for you? You know, wanted to see if you were wanting to make a payment this month on your trip. I actually had a client, her trip's not until like June, and she paid the whole thing off within like a month. She was like throwing down like $300 here, $500 here, and she got it paid. So she was super stoked. But sometimes people just need to like break it up a little bit. So, but yeah, so then you would just enter in all the stuff here. You can just complete the booking, and then that's it. TSA information, unless they are a frequent flyer and they have TSA information, don't worry about filling this out. You just need to enter in the traveler information up here, okay? So does that make sense for you guys? Does that help you? Any questions? This is just a quick training on Vax, that's it. I usually do my team meetings weekly. If you guys don't know, I'm actually going through a really bad custody battle right now with my ex, and I have her 100% of the time right now. So I haven't been able to get on my team meetings the way I usually do. I've just been meeting with lawyers and trying to handle all that paperwork. So I apologize. That's not like me. I run my team. If you guys, my leaders will tell you that I'm usually much more on it. But please always ask questions in the chat, guys. Like, that's the best way for you guys to learn and for other people to learn, because I guarantee you whatever question you have, at least 10 other people have it. You guys, Fantastic Voyagers is an organization of 212 people. So that's a lot of people, right? You're not the only ones with questions. You're not the only one needing to know where to go. You're not the only one needing help with stuff, right? So please, please, please put it in the chat, plug in, go to trainings. If you are not getting a daily text with the daily training schedule, PM me your phone number. I will get you added to that list to make sure that you get that, okay? All right, guys. See you later. Have a good night. Bye.